Hey there everyone, Boys with Dragon here, and welcome to my top 5 Uber budget decks of 2015. The January format anyways. So basically what I mean by Uber is these decks are so budget you can make them for under $100. It's like crazy. Now, if you're a budget player, if you don't have a lot of money to invest, if you just want a fun deck but don't really want to like put too much into it, these are decks for you. Now, I'm really ranking them on 3 main factors: price, how fun they are to play, and how well they do against the meta, which this format Rogue is dead. Rogue is not really good against this current meta, but if you want something that can do okay against the meta, these are good decks for you. And the prices I'm really basing off of the builds I currently have, so it can vary depending on what you want to put in your deck. And let's start. At number 5, Fluffles. Now, basically all the cards in the deck are either common or rare. There's Edgedem Scissors, which is super rare, but it's not really an expensive super rare because it's super edition, so yay. Anyways, Fluffles are a pretty fun deck. You use all your, pretty much you go all in to get a monster out, and they are really, they're cute and scary at the same time, I guess. Frightfurs, Five Nights at Freddy's, whatever. So yeah. The price of it is basically, you can make it for around $70, but the build I have has a lot of like, what is it, like Raigeki, Snatch Steal, that sort of thing, so that can really vary your price if you want to have Dark Hole instead of Raigeki, if you want to have certain things over Snatch Steal, over this, over that. Basically, the deck, what my current build is around $70, that general area, and yeah. It's a really fun deck, but against the meta, it's not too good, which is why it's sitting down here at 5. It's pretty bad against the meta, to be perfectly honest, because the monsters themselves aren't too powerful, and they have no way of really protecting themselves. So until we get a bit new support, Tiger, this deck will stay pretty bad against the current meta. Anyways, on to number 4. Number 4 is a deck that really doesn't get a lot of coverage, Frog Beatdown. Now, this is a deck I really saw at Regionals and wanted to recreate it. Basically what Frog Beatdown is it uses Wetlands and Solidarity to boost your frog cards to insane amounts. If you don't know what these cards do, basically Wetlands boosts up your frogs by 1200, Solidarity 800, so that's an extra 2000 attack. There's Starboy in the deck. Basically, you could just normal summon 3k beaters and just beat down your opponent. It does okay against the meta because Shaddolls really can't get too much free advantage over it since it does a special summon basically ever. And yeah, 3000 beaters that you just normal summon. It's a really fun deck, which is why it's all the way here, but it doesn't do too well against the meta because it needs quite a bit of setup. You need 2 cards really to make the deck at its full force. So yeah, that's why it's sitting down here at number 4. Number 3 is Kuriboh. Now here's another deck you really don't hear or see often. Basically what it is it helps, it's a deck that gets out Kuriboh level 10, Chaos monsters, and just does a lot of fun shenanigans to where you don't take damage. Now the current build I have, like I said, uses Chaos monsters. It's a bit more of a Chaos build because I like Chaos. Vanishing is always good. Anyways, you could pretty much make the deck for about $60. But the frog, that's right. The Frog Beatdown deck is also around 60. A lot of them really hover around that area. So anyways, Kuriboh, $60. And yeah, like I said earlier, this is really fun actually, because it's Kuriboh, man. Kuriboh all the way. Yeah. Anyways, about how against the meta, I'd say out of the top 3, its best matchup would probably be Qliphorts to some extent, because Wing Kuriboh level 10 does affect towers because it is a level 10 monster, and if your opponent tries to OTK, you have a Wing Kuriboh, flip up Transcendent Wings, get Wing Kuriboh level 10, blow up the field, and just burn them for game. It's really fun. Of course, that's kind of situational. Anyways, moving on. Number 2 is UA. Now this is probably the most expensive deck of the bunch, which is kind of odd to say. My current build of UA runs like, what is it, 3 Trap Stun, 3 Hidden Armory, Raigeki, Snatch Steal. So if you want to really switch these kind of cards out, you could always do without a doubt. Anyways, my UA really has no kind of extra deck except for Invoker. Now, I won't go into details of what Invoker does for the deck, but just so I know, that's the only card you really need for the extra deck. It's kind of a pricey card, so there's that. But other than that, it's a very cheap and pretty good deck because you could just power up your Solar to get to in pretty high amounts, and yeah. Slugger's like an Armades, so they can't activate anything during the battle phase, so I say it does pretty decent against the meta. Burning Abyss and all, you won't really be scared to tack over these things and kill them because, hey, their effects don't activate. And number 1, the top uber budget deck of 2015 January format, Dragon Ruler Lightsworn. Now Lightsworn has had a billion, and I mean a billion, reprints. So everything in the deck is extremely budget, and Dragon Rulers, they're really cheap. So yeah, it's a really good and really freaking strong deck. So you could just spam the field. You know what Lightsworn does. I don't need to tell you what Lightsworn does. Everything is pretty much cheap. Probably the most expensive thing in the deck is Raiden. As for the extra deck, you really only need Raiden. Wait, Michael. You only need Michael, really. Everything else is kind of just, hey, I want to add this, I want to add that. And yeah, this deck could go anywhere from 60 to even higher depending on how much you want to bling the deck out. And how it does against the meta, I'd say pretty good. It's an OTK oriented deck because you just spam the field, flood, JD explode, etc, etc, etc. And yeah, that has been my top 5 uber budget decks of 2015. If you think I missed out on anything, if you think you disagree with one of these, please tell me why below, but keep in mind that these are rogue decks, and rogue is not going to do too well against the meta. Just, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Boys White Dragonite, signing out.